If you guys know me, you know I'm one of the internet's biggest defenders of Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. So I thought, wouldn't it be funny to read and react to reviews of Rob Zombie's Halloween 2? Let's do it! Hey, what's up everybody? It's Nick here from the Lost River Drive-In, and I thought I had a fun idea. As you guys know, or if you're new to my channel, you may not know, I'm a huge fan of Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, and I have been since the day it came out in theaters. Now, I have faced my fair share of criticism and trolling because of this movie, and that's fine. So I thought, wouldn't it be fun for me, an apologist of this film, to read reviews from people that are absolutely dumping on the film? That would be fun. So I'm going to read them and I'm going to put them on the screen so you can read them as I'm simultaneously reading them. So let's get into it. But before we do, I want to make sure I ask you guys to please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. It's right there. I cover Halloween, I cover horror as a whole, and I love Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. So let's start off with a review from the trusted WTT Strange. Now, this is on IMDb. I am a huge Halloween fan, so I am not foreign to the series. I understand that Rob Zombie tried to create a whole different movie and not follow the original movies. But really? Ghosts? Seriously? Okay. Already love this guy, okay? We're already talking about Ghost Mom. Let's keep going. So right when the movie started, I loved how it continued right on from the end of Rob Zombie's first Halloween, where Laurie is walking down the street covered in blood from the .357 still in her hands. But what I loved about Rob Zombie's first Halloween is that there is a lot of criteria covered showing Myers' life at the beginning. But this goes straight into killing with no motive. Okay, even though it is a new movie, not a remake, I do believe that Dr. Loomis shouldn't have sold out. Loomis has always been the badass trying to hunt Myers down. Now he is a sellout who dies in the end. There is nowhere to go with a sequel on this because it won't be Halloween without Loomis. But the number one thing that ruined this movie is the ghosts. Seriously, what the hell? Ghosts? This is a slasher film, not a ghost film. Keep Casper out of this. Throughout the whole movie, his mom's ghost and him as a kid ghost, by the way, the kid taking Dake Fairch was terrible. He was a terrible Michael. He no longer had the creepy kid ambiance. Just keeps popping in and saying these terrible lines like, "We're ready, Michael." Seriously, Rob Zombie, what were you thinking? So if you are as big of a Halloween fan as me, don't see this movie. All right, Mr. Strange. Let me just say, some of the points that he mentions are fair. A lot of people have complained about Dr. Loomis selling out. A lot of people have complained about some of the dialogue in Rob Zombie's movies. Very fair. And everybody complains about Ghost Deborah Myers. Totally fair. However, some of these arguments are dumb. Like, how many ghosts have we seen in slasher films? Even if they're not actually there. Like, they're not in this movie. It's all in their head. The ghosts aren't actually there. It's a physical representation on screen for the viewer to understand the psyche of the person that we're following here. But like with a review like this, what do you even really say? Like, a lot of the things in this movie that I dig didn't work for this person at all. And that's totally fine. Like, you can't even... There's not even really anywhere to go there. Although I did find it funny that he said, keep Casper out of this.
Well, you know that tingling feeling when your foot falls asleep?
Next up is Rooted with Painfully Disgraceful. And they go off immediately calling him Knob Zombie. So that's interesting. But the summation for Rooted's review is, all in all, Halloween 2 is one of the worst films I've ever seen, and Rob Zombie should just leave Halloween alone. I enjoyed House of Thousand Corpses and Devil's Rejects, but Rob should have stayed in bed for this one. 1 out of 10. If I could, I'd give it a 0. Now, I proofread a lot of the review before I read the summation to you guys. It's a lot of the same complaints that the previous poster had, you know, the ghosts and Dr. Loomis and stuff like that. But, I mean, come on. Come on. Like, some of these are really, really over the top. All right, guys, we've got a celebrity in the house. Next up is Randy from Scream. Made Halloween Resurrection look like a masterpiece. I am excited for this one. This has to be the worst Halloween movie of all time. The theatrical edition sucks, and I bet the rest might be bad. Please don't buy this. This is a money grab. The slow motion scene sucks. Like, they're not scary in this film at all. The original Halloween 2 with Jamie Lee Curtis was way better. Like, they try hard in that film, but in this, Rob Zombie made the Halloween franchise a joke. I hope that new reboot is better than this garbage. 1.9 out of 10. So shout out to Randy from Scream. You guys know Randy knows a lot about movies, so I am inclined to believe what Randy has to say here. And I also really like the added touch of the 1.9 out of 10. You know, we're really getting in those decimal points here. Very, very fair review. Phase 555 says, worst Halloween movie ever made. I want to know what this person thought of Halloween Ends. Man, Rob Zombie, what got into your head? This is why the Halloween series in the 2000s suck. This is like a long rejected Rob Zombie music video. Bad story, bad script, bad plot, bad acting. I'm sorry, what? How you gonna say bad story, bad script, bad plot? Those are like all one and the same. That's like a triple negative. Like, I mean, if you don't like the story, that's totally fine. But like, bad story, bad plot. Aren't they the same thing? All right, Face, I'll hear you out. We'll keep going. This is worse than Part 6, Resurrection, Part 5, and the remake. My head hurts from writing this review. Terrible movie. Skip it. If you going to watch it, I recommend you skip the movie and watch the trailer instead. Okay, first of all, Phase 555, you're right. The trailer does kick ass for this movie. Second of all, Halloween 6, Part 5, kick ass. Resurrection, I'll hear you on that. The remake, meh. But most importantly, your head hurts from writing this review? Next up is Dave Byron, 17, with the title Simply Idiotic. His summation: your image of Michael Myers really made me shake my head. He looked like a hillbilly who lived in the same woods that Deliverance came from. He all of a sudden starts grunting and talking. I bet John Carpenter really appreciated how you butchered his masterpiece. If it didn't have some of your creative gore, this piece of garbage would have ranked 1 out of 10. Keep your wife out of your movies. She ruins all of them. I just want to know, like, do people that type these things on, like, message boards online think that Rob Zombie is going through and reading all of them and he's, like, taking them to heart and he's going, oh my gosh, Dave Byron, 17, says I have to keep my wife out of movies and he hates hillbillies. Like, I don't, oh my God, it makes my head hurt. Like, I thought FaZe, for having his head hurt, for writing that weird ass review, was crazy, but I get it now. My head hurts. Now we enter the wonderful world of Rotten Tomatoes, and we're gonna pick some juicy user reviews here. Louis CG says, this movie also sucks like the first Rob Zombie one, but if it was tackled by living pile of bullshit, and it's worse than the first one, 0 out of 10. Look, Louis, I respect you, or Louis, and I appreciate that you were willing to go with the 0. You know, we had somebody earlier, they weren't willing to do it. They simply could not go to 0. But my guy here, he went with a 0. Good for you. Attic G says, bro, this felt like a ripoff of The Exorcist. I don't even know, like, where to go with that. There's no demonic possession. There's almost like no parallels to The Exorcist whatsoever. This is wild. Ethan G, okay, we've got a run of G's here, says, silly, noisy, and boring. Halloween 2 is not only unneeded, but unwanted. Wow. I shudder to think what you say to your children when they piss you off. Unwanted? Yeah! Daniel M gives it 1 star and says, Halloween 2, the Rob Zombie sequel that dives deep into the psychological route that will make you feel like you're watching Halloween 5 again, but this time a little bit worse than you remember. See, for me, like, I like Halloween 5. Like, at least this person was like, this dives into the psychological. You are absolutely correct. But I like Halloween 5. And I actually feel like this is done a little bit better. So I'm not the audience for this review. Yeah! This review from Adam P is wild. Okay, he gives it 2.5 out of 5 stars. So that is just like baseline average, right? 2.5, 50%. Now this one was horrible. This is the worst Halloween movie I have watched up to this point. Okay, you gave this a 50%. It is halfway good. And that's how you're starting your review. All right, I'm here for it. The story goes off in all kinds of weird directions, all the while leaning even heavier into the darker and brutal zombie style of horror in opposition to the original series formula. The acting is pretty good, but not enough to make up for all the shortcomings. Entertaining enough, but just not for me personally. Wait, and then he puts 5.75 out of 10. So it's even better than the star rating at the top. Adam, where are you, my friend? How could you lambast a movie so hard and give it over 50%. Oh my gosh. Robin S. comes in with a half-star review and simply says, insult to the originals. I hate these kind of fans. Yeah! Nicholas B. Okay, we may share a name, but no, my friend, we do not agree here. He gives it a half star and says a horrible out-of-place movie with its boring plot that came completely out of left field. How is the plot out of left field? If you don't like it, cool. Like, that's great, but how's it out of left field? Like, it's not at all. I feel like it's a natural progression from the first movie. I don't know. Maybe I'm just an apologist. How? How? All right, I'm skeptical over this next review because it's by Nicola B. Right after Nicholas B. gave it a half star and said, terrible. Someone needs to tell Rob Zombie his wife can't act. Also, incredibly over-sexualized. Look, this is way less sexualized than the first film. But it's an attack on Sherry again. I mean, we're going to see those. But I see you, Nicholas. I know that's you again, dick. Yeah! All right, we got a harsh one here from Dax R. This is my least favorite movie ever. Michael speaks, and that is awful. Okay, Dax R. Okay, so I'm sorry, I proofread this one. Robert P. gives it 2 out of 5 and says, I hate all Halloween movies and do not care for the main characters. Jason, you stink.
Do people still put on hockey masks and try to scare you?
It's the wrong movie, baby.
Right, but do people ever do that?
This next review comes from an unnamed person. Gives it a half star and says, all I can say about this movie is 2 hours I will never be able to get back. It's an hour and 45 and technically an hour and 36 with the theatrical cut before credits. Dramatic. Yeah! All right, this Anon poster went too far. How bad is Rob Zombie's Halloween 2? It's worse than Cats 2019. I have not seen Cats 2019, but I remember the hysteria over certain things that were not CGI'd out in the trailer. And I remember how terrifying that trailer was. There is absolutely no way someone could say this is worse than Cats. I will not hear it. Yeah! And to cap it off, because I could do this all day, but we've got to call it here. Josh B. gives the film 1 star and says, overall, just not a good movie. And the ghost mom with the horse was very strange. And I don't like to see Michael dressed like a hobo.
Change! Ah, I don't have any change!
So I tried my best not to argue with some of the reviews because, again, like I said at the beginning, it's just people's opinions. Like, if certain things don't work for you, they don't work for you. But what is the point of all of this? Well, one, I had a good laugh, and I hope you guys did too, because some people online are incredibly dramatic. But also, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, it caused these kind of reactions all over the internet when it came out. I will never forget being a member on the Halloween message board and being somebody that loved the movie. And I was catching strays left and right for years before that message board got shut down. But like, it's kind of entertaining to read this stuff and to kind of transport myself back to that place. And it's even funnier when people are like, I don't like the Halloween movies. This is the worst one. Well, you don't like them anyway. Or, oh, Rob Zombie's wife is in every movie. Yeah, guys, we understand that. That's just a part of the deal. Every movie he makes, she's gonna be in it. And Rob's not gonna read your review and stop putting Sherry in the movie because Nicola B or Nicholas B or Anon poster says that he needs to stop. It's just not gonna happen. However, I like doing this because it's fun to see the opposite ends of the spectrum. And it'd be fun to read reviews for a movie that everybody loves that I hated. I don't know. If you guys liked this, ask me to do it more. Give me some suggestions and I'll do more videos like this because I was genuinely laughing my ass off doing this. So I would definitely have fun doing this. But the moral of the story is Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, you're here or you're here. And there ain't much in between. I know there's a few people. You guys are the unicorns and not the dead unicorn with the mom. You guys are the unicorns that can be right here with the movie. You're this or you're this. And man, What a trip down memory lane. So guys, please leave a like on this video, comment down below, let me know your thoughts on this new style of video I did, and if you want to see me do it more with different movies, leave suggestions down below in the comments. I thank you guys so much for watching this video and joining in on the discussion. Thank you so much for stopping by the Lost River Drive-In. This is Nick, and I'm pulling out.